Today we're talking about fat loss. I transform my body in 8 weeks routinely, and the transformational challenges themselves, they feature me on their social media as an example of what's possible fat loss and muscle gain wise in only 8 weeks. So maybe it's because you got a holiday coming up, or you're getting married, or you just want to feel slimmer and healthier, or you want to look good on the beach or while you're by the pool. The following 8 hacks are going to help you get there. So hack number 1 to transform your body in 8 weeks, apple cider vinegar. Right, some of you are thinking apple cider vinegar, what's that all about? The apple cider vinegar goes into your gut and it nourishes the good bacteria. Essentially, in your gut is a whole universe of bacteria, more than you could ever imagine. We're talking trillions of bacteria. But anyway, the fermented apples which make apple cider vinegar, tip within this, you have to get good apple cider vinegar that has the mother. So look for the one that contains the mother. In England, we have shops called Aldi and Lidl. They're roughly about £2.50 a bottle, so not too expensive. If your gut's working, everything else is working. Think about yourself as an organism that needs energy. The energy comes from what you consume, goes into your digestive system, and your gut essentially extracts the nutrients. This in itself strengthens your metabolism. If you're not having processed foods and stuff like this, you're having good wholesome foods. Apple cider vinegar with the mother, first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. This is going to supercharge your metabolism. Your cellular processes then are going to give you more energy to attack the day, also more mental focus, to stay on task and stay disciplined to see out the day, the week, and the entire 8 weeks of the transformation. Number 2 hack to transform your body in 8 weeks. 10,000 steps before you have your first food. Now, this in itself is a hack because what you're doing is you're saying to yourself, non-negotiable every single day for 8 weeks before I have my first calories. Could be tea, could be food, whatever it is. Before I have those first calories, yes, you can have green tea. Yes, you can have water with lemon inside. Yes, as the last tip just said, you can have apple cider vinegar. I would suggest with some cayenne and ginger in there. All that other good stuff is going to get your circulation going. It's going to make you feel supercharged for the day ahead. But when you say to yourself, it's non-negotiable that before I have any form of calories, it's not, as we just mentioned, tea or apple cider vinegar or some black coffee or something like that, calories. For instance, milk in tea would be calories, or definitely any food, as you know, food contains calories. Before you have any calories on any single day for 8 weeks straight, every single day, there are no days off. You will do 10,000 steps before you have the first calories. This is a super trick and a super hack to get you essentially burning lots of energy before you have your first calories. So the way this works is before you have your first calories, you'll already be in a caloric deficit. If you're already in a caloric deficit, the hole's already dug, so to speak. There's no possible way that you can be in a surplus by the end of the day, or at least it will be very hard for you to be in a caloric surplus by the end of the day. Hack number 3, we talked about calories just before, and we're going to talk about calories again. Your first calories of the day, whether it's milk and tea or some form of food, whatever it is that you're going to have, do not have them before midday. Doesn't matter what time you wake up, doesn't matter what time you go to bed. You can say, as an example, if you wake up between 6 and 8 a.m. in the morning, and you go to sleep between 9 p.m. and 11 p.m., ideal. Do not have any calories whatsoever, food or drinks, before midday. This is an absolute super trick. Super hack, actually, and if you're disciplined and you follow it, you're absolutely going to essentially be in a caloric deficit each day. If you're in a caloric deficit, your fat's going to burn, and regardless of how much muscle you have, you can maintain or gain a touch of muscle, but that muscle is going to shine through once all the fat's gone. And this tip to not have calories before midday is going to help you get there. It's going to make sure you don't have too many calories throughout the whole day. It makes sense because you're starting later. And also, as you do these caloric deficit days over 8 weeks, all of that body fat goes, and all that's left to show is the muscle. So in the hack just now, I said about caloric deficit. We're going to talk a bit more about that now. You must be in a caloric deficit for you to achieve your 8-week body transformation. You want to look good on the beach, you want to look good by the pool, well, you need to be in a caloric deficit for 8 weeks prior to the pool, prior to the beach. How do you do that? You do that by tracking your calories. It's crucial. The information's on the food label. It's all there for you, and you simply have to weigh the food, kitchen scales. Another tip there, quick tip, put that one down too. You weigh your food, and then track, crucially, your calories. You have to track your expenditure also, and that's for another video. But in this video, we're talking about caloric deficit. And to track your caloric deficit, I would suggest to you, and this hack is, do not trust apps. Do not trust technology. Many times these apps, they do a miscalculation. And if they do a miscalculation and tell you at the end of the day, oh, you're in a caloric deficit, but you're not, well, guess what? By the end of the 8 weeks, your body transformation won't happen. Or it certainly won't happen as well as it could have happened. If, as this hack says, you get a pen, you get paper, and you put all your calories down on pen and paper. You weigh the food with your hands, you take the pen and the paper, and you put down on the pen and the paper, I would suggest you get a diary, and you put down X amount of whatever it is that you've eaten, and then you put the corresponding sum of calories next to it. You total all of that up, obviously with a calculator, you're not going to do that in your mind, but you do your calculation at the end of the day, by hand with pen and paper. I promise you, this is a super hack to make sure you are actually in a caloric deficit. Every video I've seen on this, and from my own experience, people always think that they're in a caloric deficit when they're not. And why do they think they're in a caloric deficit? Some app, some piece of technology is telling them, oh, you're in a caloric deficit. No, you're not. If you were, you would be losing the fat. So I'm saying to you, weigh your food. Absolutely, that's not this hack. But the hack is, put your calories down on paper, in a journal, in a diary, with pen and paper, and then do your calculations at the end of the day. You don't trust any app. You can maybe go to apps to get the nutritional profile, the nutritional information, but you're not going to trust any form of app to do your calculation. That is the mishap and the misstep that many of you right now watching this, you're making that misstep. You're making that miscalculation because you're trusting an app, a piece of technology. And as good as technology is, it's not infallible. A pen, a paper that you write down from after doing the scales, that is the surefire way to make sure your calculations are correct. And if they're correct, you're more likely to achieve your caloric deficit every single day. Hack number 5, go low carb. I'm not going to say it any other way. Carbs are bad in terms of body transformation. That's my opinion. I know many of you will go to the comment section and say you eat carbs and you get ripped and you get cut. From my experience, having done 8-week body transformations and where they place me on their website as an example of what's possible in 8 weeks, from my experience having done it, from my expertise, from my qualification, my certification. By the way, I am a qualified PT. Go to the link in the description, hit me up on Instagram. There's a consultation form there. If you're ready to go, fill that out. Otherwise, just message me. We can have a chat, and see where you're at. But based on my experience, based on my certification, based on doing the 8-week transformation challenge, based on them showing me on their social media as an example of what's possible in 8 weeks, my experience, me telling you now, having done it, as I say with both of those examples, carbs are your enemy. Sugar, carbs will not help you, regardless of whatever some social media fitness influencers telling you that carbs are fine. Most of the time, they're paid off by the food industries to say those things to you. Pringles are fine. Eat Pringles and you can get cut. Do you ever get cut when you eat like that? No, of course you don't, because carbs are the enemy. Sugar is the enemy. So go low carb is, I would say, probably of all these hacks, one of the top hacks. No carbohydrates, no sugars. Placing your body into what we call ketosis. This makes your body, it needs energy still. So where does it get that energy from? It gets it from the fat. You switch from burning sugar, go into ketosis. That means no carbs, no sugars. And then your body burns fat. That's what you want. You want your body to burn the fat so that you can see the muscles, see the rest of your body. No fat equals a good looking body. Okay, so number 6, many of you aren't going to like this because it means that you can't eat. And we love to eat. I love to eat. You love to eat. We all love to eat. Everybody loves their food. And that's the problem. The nutritional problem is why you gain weight in the beginning. It's not because of lack of activity. I'm not saying, doing more isn't helpful. It is. But essentially, unless your nutritional disciplines are in place, you're always going to gain fat or just retain fat. You're certainly not going to lose fat. So in terms of this, what I'm going to say, because it means you don't get to eat, you have to restrict your eating. Some of you aren't going to like it. So you have to weigh what you want more. Do you want your food more, or do you want that body at the end of the 8 weeks? Do you want to transform your body, lose the fat, show your muscles? If you want to lose the fat and show your muscles, then this hack number 6, is going to be, something that's going to be a superpower for you. And it's super powerful because essentially when you fast for a whole day, don't have any food for a whole 24 hours, so you wake up at 8 a.m., You go to bed at 9 p.m., that whole entire day you've had no calories. When you do that, your body absolutely rapidly transforms just in that one day. You start burning ketones for energy, which is fat, essentially. Your body goes into something called autophagy, where it's, recycling cells that aren't any good anymore, fat cells being some of them. All of these processes, these cellular processes, the metabolic processes, not to get too scientific on you, these are massive hacks to transform your body in a short space of time. 8 weeks is a very short space of time, It's not going to be easy for all of you, but with this hack, fasting for a whole day, once per week, you have to do it once per week, not once in the 8 weeks, once per every 7 days over 8 weeks. This hack of fasting is going to absolutely see you get there. It's going to see all the fat disappear and the muscle show. Hack number 7, make yourself accountable. How do you make yourself accountable? Join a transformational challenge. I've referenced in this video the 8-week transformation. This is an 8-week body, essentially. You want to transform your body in 8 weeks. So I would recommend that 8-week transformation challenge. I'm not affiliated to them, but they've helped me massively. I've transformed my body twice, I believe it's actually 3 times, using the 8-week transformational challenge. You get lots of help, lots of advice along the way. And it's the accountability, having to account to someone every day, every week, how much calories, how much carbs, how much steps. That accountability is massive. It absolutely ensures that you get there at the end. The 8-week body that you're after is way more likely to happen when you join a transformational challenge. So as I say, from my own experience of doing the 8-week transformation, I'm not affiliated to them. There's no link in the description. So from my own experience of doing the 8-week transformation, I can tell you it's a massive help, to have that accountability, someone there in the ether, on the other side of the mirror, so to speak, who's there saying, what did you have for your food yesterday? How many steps did you do yesterday? What was your sleep yesterday? When you have someone asking you these questions and you have to put into the boxes the number, you find that the next day and the day after and all the days, over the 8 weeks, you want those numbers to be sound, to be good numbers. That accountability of being in a transformational challenge, that absolutely helps you get there. So again, I would say my recommendation, my strong recommendation from having done these transformational challenges is make sure you do a transformational challenge. If you're serious, the 8-week transformation for an 8-week body to shed the fat, see your muscles over 8 weeks, an 8-week transformational challenge is absolutely going to get you there. The 8-week transformation with that accountability, someone on the other side of the mirror, what were your numbers yesterday? How many steps? How much sleep? How much calories? That accountability. You want to be on the beach. You want to see a flat stomach. Maybe you want to see a six-pack. Definitely want to see your muscles. You want to be in shape. You want to take your top off and look good. You don't want to be that person who doesn't want to take their top off. You want to be that person with a great body. And I'm telling you that accountability on the other side of the mirror, the transformational challenge, that's going to help you get there. And hack number 8 is again to do with accountability, but it's accountability you place on yourself, and it's also how you want to be viewed by the world outside of yourself. So when you take your clothes off, you want to look good. So you find an activity where you're going to take your clothes off. So from the beginning, before you start your 8-week journey to transform your body, book a holiday or a photo shoot. Book a holiday or a photo shoot. Day 1, before day 1, you have to have these booked before you start the 8 weeks. The action of handing over the money to Thomas Cook, whoever it is, or to the photographer for the photo shoot. That action, you're locked in, you're tied in, you've paid into your own transformation, so to speak. So you don't want to fail. You've got that added incentive at the end, there at the finishing line. When you do your 8-week transformation, the fat's gone, the muscles are showing. Well, you've got this holiday now that you can take your top off for, or the photo shoot that you're going to take your top off for. Those things there in the distance, something to galvanize your discipline, something to propel you forwards and make sure you achieve the body transformation that you're after. Those things in the future, the photo shoot or the holiday, they're absolutely going to help you. I promise you. One of the biggest tips, and I've left it to the end, one of the biggest hacks is having something where you're going to have to take your top off in front of others, in the distance, looming. I say to you, tie that into the end of the 8-week transformation. So you finish the 8-week transformation, the next week you're on holiday, or you finish and then there's the photo shoot. Whatever it is that you do, make sure it's something where you have to take your top off. By having that in the distance and it's coming up, it will be one of those things that encourages you and nourishes your discipline. And as I say, encourages you to absolutely see out the transformation every single day, because one day can make the difference, falling off or staying on course. So you want every single one of those days to be good days, having the photo shoot, having the holiday in the distance, something to look forward to, yes, but something where I'm going to be taking my top off. I'm taking my top off on this holiday. I'm taking my top off at this photo shoot. Having those things in the distance is going to galvanize your discipline. It's going to spur you on. It's going to encourage you to do well every single day. And you have to do this every single day. There's no days off. My book that I'm going to bring out on this is called 0 Days Off. It's not out yet, but there are no days off. 8 weeks isn't a lot of time to transform your body. You can't have a day off. It's something that you have to do consistently. And I suppose that's the tip that I can leave you with. A bonus tip number 9, so to speak. 8-week body transformations are a consistent effort. They're not like a 90-day. On a 90-day, I have my birthday off. I have Halloween off. On an 8-week transformation, there isn't that time. You don't have that extra allowance. There's no room to maneuver. It's make or break, do or die. No days off, 0 days off. And that would be my tip number 9 for you. There are no days off in an 8-week body transformation. It's pedal to the metal. It's all guns blazing, do or die. Every single, back to the wall, every single ounce of discipline that you have to muster and strengthen it within yourself to make sure you see out every single day of the 8 weeks to transform your body from fat, because it's not a lot of time to transform your body from fat to muscles. I definitely wish you luck on your journey, and I know you can get there. If you liked anything in this video, like, comment, and subscribe. That's going to help me make more videos like this to help more people in future.